Hi, my name's Lara Kilgore. I am the founder and owner of Beyond Education, and I'm also our in-house expert on everything college applications. The one thing that I know in working with families is that it has gotten really stressful over the years. I love hearing the stories from parents who are like, I remember when we applied and it was just a piece of paper and you put your name and your social security number and your address and you mailed it in and you got in. As we all know, that really is not the process for most students anymore. It feels like it is a very intense rigmarole now of making sure you have the right resume and the right internships and you've taken the right classes and have you taken AP. In fact, many times I feel like I'm more of a counselor than I am actually a college application expert in helping families to work through this process, just because it feels like there's so much. One of the things that we focus on in the college advising process is devising your school list. Now, there's lots of things that we measure and consider in terms of picking a good school, but I'm going to give you 3 today that you can use with your rising senior or any high school student, because it's always better to get started early on this, to consider when you're looking at schools. The first is location. You want to talk with your student and your child about, do they want to be in a city? Do they want to be in a small town or a college town? Do they want to be in the middle of nowhere? Can they handle hot or cold and climate? And how does that affect where they want to be? A lot of times, students may understand what they need. Sometimes I have students who come in and say, I need to be in a hot place. I don't want to do any cold or snow. Great. All right. We've just cut our schools probably in half of where you want to look and attend. Or we have some students, and this was my story, I knew I wanted to be in a big city. I wanted a small school in a big city. And that's the only places where I looked. And especially as I went and looked at schools that were smaller schools in small cities or even big universities in small towns, that was not the field that I wanted or that I liked. So first, thinking about location. Another thing that you want to use with your student as they consider where they want to go to college is the size. So there tends to be a breakdown of small, medium, and large. Small tends to be schools that are 5,000 or less. Medium, which I think there's really 2 categories of medium, but medium typically can be anywhere from 5,000 to about 20,000. Now, sometimes that can be a wider range, just depends on what database you're using to look at. But that's a really big difference in the field, right? An 8,000 person school versus an 18,000 person school, totally different feel. And then you have the larger schools, which are 20, 30, 40, 50,000 students or above. And again, you're going to get a totally different experience. So that's something that I always ask students of, have you thought about what size of a campus you want to be on? How big of a campus, are you going to have to walk around in? Because that might decide whether you need to bring a car to school or have some sort of transportation option. The third thing to look at, so we've said location, size. The third thing to think about is, does the school have the degree plan that your student wants to study? Now, for a student who may be undecided, that may feel like the world is their oyster and they just need to have as many degree options as possible, and that's one strategy. For the students who know they want to go to medicine, they want to study environmental science, they want to eventually become a lawyer, you want to look at what are the degree plans and also what classes would the student have to take when they enroll in college. All of that information is free and available online. You just use Google and type it in for the school that you're looking at, and you can pull up a degree plan. Or if you can't find it, then you contact the admissions department from the school and you go and you take a look at it and you have them email it to you. Again, that ensures that 1, you're going to a school in a place that you want to be. 2, you're going to a school that you feel comfortable either getting lost in thousands of your best friends or being known in maybe a smaller, more intimate campus and student body. And you actually have something there that you want to study. The worst thing would be if you got into a school, you were all excited about it, and then you find out they don't even have the degree plan that you were interested in studying. Or maybe you thought you were going to study one thing and then you decided you wanted to change and they didn't have that option. So those are the 3 main things. Like I said, there are a lot of other things to consider. Greek life, extracurriculars, sports, things like that, cost. And those are things that I would continue to have conversations with your rising senior or your high school student as you figure out where a good option would be for college. We're going to continue to do these videos for the next couple of weeks, and I hope that you continue to follow along with us. And if you have any questions or comments or want to know more about our process, please give us a call or click the link below in this email to contact us so that we can set up an initial call and go through some of your options.